Hello, Danielle here, and I am so excited to introduce you to my wonderful client, Derek Mulder, who has had amazing success with my program and with my coaching. And of course, he has done the work. You're one of those people, Derek, every time that we met every week, you had always made some progress, and, very great to hear that you have now found an exciting new role. So would you mind introducing yourself and telling people what you do?
My name's Derek Mulder, as Danielle mentioned, and thanks for introducing me, Danielle. And I'm glad to be here. And so my role, I've been working at a company now for 14 years. And so quite a bit of experience in the sales management field in call centers. So I manage basically teams within call centers. I do training, I do hiring, that sort of thing. Previous to the work here, I was working at a major telecommunications company doing the same sort of thing. So a lot of experience in the same type of field. So yeah, that's where I'm at. And yeah, I was really glad to do the program and found it really helpful. So.
Perfect. Well, I wanted to ask you, what was the situation when you sought out some assistance? What was the trigger for you to, see if there was a resource that might be able to help you with your job search?
Sure. So like I had mentioned, I've been with the company for a lot of years, and I had pretty much done every role that I could within the company. There wasn't a lot of opportunities for upward movement. And I had done all the positions available in a lateral movement. So I was looking for something to give me a little bit more mobility, upwards, and also to give me a little bit more job fulfillment. So I wasn't necessarily looking to leave my company, but that was certainly on the table. I was more looking to see, what can I do to make this job work? Or what can I do to kind of come to the conclusion to be fully comfortable that maybe it's time to move on?
Right. And what made you decide that you needed professional assistance with this? A lot of people just kind of go online and, they sort of Google how to do a resume, how to do a job search, how to do interviews. What made you decide to, seek professional assistance with this?
I would just say it had been growing and growing over a while, and I'd been giving myself, ultimatums. Okay, you want to do it by this time, you want to do it by this time. And it finally, there wasn't one thing that made me decide to do it. It was, I believe you came referred from a friend of my wife's. And so I just thought, you know what, let me meet with you and see what it is that you can offer, Danielle. And because I had half-heartedly been looking at that point, and I wasn't really having a lot of success. I wasn't getting a lot of replies to when I would apply for roles online. If I found stuff on LinkedIn or Indeed, I wasn't getting replies, and I saw that there was a lot of competition. And so I knew there must be ways to do this better than I'm doing it now. So when I did get that referral, I thought, well, let me see what it is that Danielle can do. And I took the gamble, and it did pay off. So
right. Okay. So how did it pay off? How did it help you specifically? I just, always love to get that information, because a lot of people, they, unless they've been in it, they don't really understand how much of a difference it can make. Yeah.
Sure. So one of the things it helped me do is it helped me make decisions by kind of taking some of the emotion out of it. So that was part of what we covered, because I was still 1 foot in the door at my company and 1 foot out of the door at my company. So it helped me with that. It helped me to kind of look at my current role to see what I could get as far as further fulfillment from it. And it also helped me decide, you know what, I think it is time to go. It helped me make that decision more effectively. Then it helped me to improve my resume. My resume had been pretty good. I'd gotten help with it in the past, but it helped bring it to that next notch. The cover letter, the process on how to write a cover letter was really good. It helped me to, identify what needs to be in a cover letter so that people will read it, so that it'll stand out amongst, I was applying for jobs against 150 other candidates sometimes. how am I, they're not reading all those cover letters. So I found a way, or you showed me a way to make it so that my cover letter would stand out, picking jobs that I would want to go for. And then it helped me with the interview process from, all the way from the first interview to the last interview. So it gave me a lot of tips on how to make myself more effective. And before I was doing it, I remember once I had applied for a job I found online and I really liked it. I did it my way. I hadn't even taken the course yet. I did it my way. And I submitted my cover letter, my resume, the whole works, and I heard nothing back. Then I took the course and you helped me with my cover letter. You helped me with the resume. And I sent that into the same job. It was still posted like a month later. And then all of a sudden I got a hit. They interviewed me. I went to the second interview, third interview, fourth interview. In the end, it didn't pay off, but I got certainly a lot further than I did the first time when I applied, and they didn't even look at my resume. So that's the kind of things that I really took from it.
Yeah, it makes a big difference, right? And then
Yeah.
how did you find, like, how would you explain to someone your performance in interviews, how different it has been having gone through the training and the coaching?
I was more thoughtful, and I knew the kind of questions that they were going to ask. So I was able to prepare for those questions, rehearse those questions. So when it came time to when they asked those questions, very rarely did I get a question where I was stumped by it. I was prepared for it, or I had covered something similar. And so when those questions did come up, I had an answer that when I was done saying it, I wasn't done the interview and going, oh, I wish I had answered that differently. I was a lot more prepared for it. So most times I came out of my interviews feeling, yeah, I did the best that I could do with that because I was prepared for it, because I knew the kind of questions they were going to ask.
Nice, nice. And were there any results that came out of the coaching that we did together that were unexpected? That, it was like a cherry on top, or a little kind of a bonus that you didn't anticipate?
I would say that the cover letter writing, what was really good. I didn't think, like, I had been taught how to write cover letters, but it was, here, take this template and fill it in with your information. Yeah. And so it's more than just, here's a template, fill it in. It was an approach that we used on how to do it, and it was tailored to every job I apply for, every canvas I'm looking at, how to make my cover letter stand out to those people that are looking for a candidate. So that was beneficial. And also, I would say the aspect of, while I was in my current role, looking to move on, to find it so that I was able to get a little bit more fulfillment or give it a fair shot while I was in that role as well. So that it wasn't just a frustrating role that I was in. I was able to get more out of it while I was there, while I was waiting for that next stage of my career to take place.
Right. So that was some of the mindset work that we did to kind of, be able to be satisfied in the current role while still looking for something else, right?
Yeah. And I would say as well, the notion of setting realistic expectations for myself on how quickly this will happen, because I was thinking, okay, give myself a month and I've got my new job, and that wasn't really the case. And I think without that mindset, I think I would have gotten frustrated a lot sooner, because this gave me realistic expectations. Those were the expectations I have, and that ended up being the reality of the case. It took as long as we predicted to find the role. So I suspect that had it taken that long and I didn't have those expectations, I might have become a little bit more disheartened while I was trying to make it happen.
Right. And of course, when you're showing up in job interviews, kind of with that in the background, feeling disheartened or frustrated, you're probably not performing the best, right? That's the thing that people don't realize, that it does impact your performance as you're seeking out something else, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because, I did go through quite a few interviews, and I got quite far in them. But sometimes it wouldn't work, or every time I applied to one, it wouldn't work out. And so I was able to tell myself, well, there's reasons for it. And I just, and this was to be expected. I'm not going to get every job I apply for. And because not every job was I totally 100% qualified for.
Yeah.
So the realistic expectations of how long it will take allowed me to say, okay, yeah, just keep going. It hasn't even been close to the amount of time, we anticipated.
Yeah. So tell us about the role that you ended up accepting and, that you got the job offer for.
So it's in the healthcare industry, and I haven't worked in the healthcare industry, I would say, for 30 years. That's where I
Right.
got my start. And so I will be managing a call center, a small call center, helping them grow, as well as working with the receptionists at the different clinics that they have around the province, to make it so that the customer service that customers get when they call into the clinics is the same customer service that they'll get when they call into the call center. So it's a really great opportunity. I'll have a lot more opportunity to put my stamp on it and use my expertise than I would have in the role that I'm currently at. So which is why I was really excited about it. And the pay's a little bit better. And yeah, so we always like that. So
that's always good. Are you able
yeah.
to share percentage wise maybe?
It's
or
about 10%. It's about 10% more.
Okay, so nice. And I mean,
Yeah.
you had 14 years with the same company.
Yep.
And, I mean, not that we're going to share, our ages on this call or anything like that, but I mean, you're like me, you're kind of like in mid-career, right? So,
Sure.
I mean, did you have some reservations before we started working together that maybe, your age could be an issue in this job search? Was that a factor for you at all?
I did. That was certainly a realistic expectation, and we kind of strategized around how to make that not an issue or less of an issue with employers. And they don't come out and say, yeah, we didn't hire you because you're the age you are. But
Yeah.
I did find that they had certain preconceived notions about my abilities because of my age, and because we had discussed that could come up. I created strategies on how to nip that in the bud, because the people are going to assume you're a little bit older, you might not be good with computers, or you might not be good with technology. And so I would highlight that proactively to show them, yes, I am. I know how to use a computer. The software isn't going to be rocket scientist. Software is made to be user friendly. So I was able to show that, and how, I'm kind of a subject matter expert in that in my current role. So I brought that to the forefront. And so that the whole idea of applying at this age, yeah, sure, some people did have preconceived notions, but I did try my best to kind of address it before it hindered me in any way.
I love that so much, this whole nip it in the bud kind of, mentality, right? Because it can be a factor, but if you, are prepared for that, and to your point, proactively address it, then you're doing the best possible job that you can to overcome it and not let it be a factor when it doesn't need to be, right? So so that, I'm so excited for you. Like, well done. I mean, in the end, how long had you been searching? For a few months, right?
I had been searching for, I'm going to say, actively from the time I completed the program, because while I was completing the program, I didn't have the time to do the full job search. And I made some errors along the way where I thought, and I learned from them, I'm going through the process with this one job, so I'm not going to apply for others. So I didn't follow the process entirely as far as, I should apply for a number of jobs. I put all my eggs in one basket for the first job, and I went quite far. Yeah. And
I'm pretty sure I say not to do that, but
you did. And I thought, no, I'm a superstar. It's going to work out. And I learned, and I went really far, and it took quite a long ways. And they hummed and hawed when they got to the very end. And I was really disappointed when it didn't work out. And that's when I went, well, that's what Danielle was talking about. And so I really started my job search, and it ended up taking me, I'd say, 6 or 7 months to finally, from the point where I started, doing the full, after I'm done my job, my full-time job during the day, dedicating another couple hours every evening, an hour to 2 hours every evening to the job search and the process. once I started doing it full time with the commitment level that it required, then I found, yeah, you know what, it took me 6 or 7 months to get the role I was looking for.
Yeah. And I mean, of course you were choosy because you had, a role that
Yeah.
was, paying you well and all of that. So it's not like there was a huge rush, right? But yeah, this
Yeah.
whole idea of not putting your all of your job search eggs in the one basket, you got to definitely stay in action and wait until you have that job offer before you take the foot off the gas, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely. And
yeah.
so I was coasting a little bit because I thought for sure this is going so well, and
Yeah.
that was a mistake that I quickly learned from and said, no, you know what, I better do it the way that. And I had so much more success with that. Then I was finding there was one week where I had 5 different interviews for 4 different companies all in the same week. So
Wow.
yeah, because I was constant, and while I was doing that, every night I was still applying and looking for other jobs and doing that process as well.
Yeah.
So
Well, you certainly did the work, right? And now you're
yeah.
getting the reward. Is there anything else that you want people to know about, the training, the coaching, job searching at this age, like any words of wisdom or anything else that you'd love to share?
I would just say, be patient, give yourself the time, and the approach that you shared with me, it really does work, especially if you follow it, the way it's prescribed, so to speak. The steps that are there, when you follow them, they really do work. But again, you do have to have the patience to do it. You can't expect miracles overnight. It's, you hear that it's there's the great everyone is applying for jobs, the great resignation.
The great resignation.
Yeah. So you hear about that and you think, oh, it's going to be easy to find a job. But if you're looking for a job in your particular, it's not going to be as easy as you think it is. So you need to give yourself time. You need to actually take the job hunt seriously. You're not just going to apply to one job and, every 2 weeks and they're going to line up to hire you. That's not necessary. Well, that wasn't the case for me. I suspect it's not the case with most people, where, people are begging for employees. That, I was up against, in some cases, because on LinkedIn, it tells you how many people applied. I was up against, for some jobs, over 150 people. Yeah. So, it was tough. And because all these people that resigned, they were looking for the same kind of jobs I was, which was, either at home, like remote, or, a hybrid model. Those became very popular jobs. Yeah. So it wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be at first. And that's when I thought, oh, I better buckle down and really do this if I want to make a change.
Yeah, it's so true because, there are more right now still in North America. There are more roles than employees to fill the roles. But at these higher levels with higher compensation, higher levels of experience, there is actually a lot of competition. And so it is important to find ways to be able to stand out and to really perform in those interviews the way that you have. So yeah, kudos to you for doing the work and for, being patient and, really sticking with it until you got what you really wanted and you're able to make that change and have a role that's going to be, fulfilling for a number of years. Yeah,
well, kudos to you for putting together a program that's so comprehensive.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I really appreciate that. I appreciate that you were willing to do this because I think it can really help a lot of people that, are in the place that you were when we first met, right? That are not feeling fulfilled in their roles, or they're not excited anymore about their day-to-day. They're kind of dreading the Monday mornings, right? And, they don't really know where to start, or they've already started applying to different things and nothing's working, right? Like, I just love that you were willing to share your story and, serve as an example of what's possible, even in mid-career, even when we're a little bit older and more experienced, right? There are opportunities out there when we know how to go get them.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Derek.
Oh, no problem. Thank you, Danielle.